Yeah. But let's give it a quick review here. This TNA. Let's not take too long on it, but let's give it a review. What was your thoughts on the Ash versus Ash by Elegance, the for opening contest versus Jody Threat?
I give that match a 6 out of 10, just because I feel like if the crowd was behind her just a little bit more, it would have made for that more high stakes, higher anticipation type match. Like, who's it going to go? Is it going to go to her? Is it going to go to Ash? Who's it going to go to? I think that if the crowd gets behind her a little bit more, it'll be easier for me to like her matches. But since there's little to no reaction to her, it's hard for me.
You have that spot on, Chris. Your thoughts on that Ash a
I,
match with
no,
Jody
I
Threat?
totally agree. I totally agree. I mean, it's hard to root for somebody that's not really portraying the character like they're supposed to.
Yeah, I'm going with the 6 out of 10 as well because she's not doing the heel stuff because she could easily get at the booze. She could easily get the booze. It's easy for you to piss off a crowd and get the crowd to get you heat, and she's not really doing it. She's got to get the crowd invested to dislike her a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something that she's not connecting, and it's disappointing for a former WWE talent, an NXT and a WWE talent, not to do that, not to work the crowd. So I'm disappointed in Ash by Elegance. 6 out of 10. Again, maybe the wrong gimmick for her on that there, but yeah, well, hopefully for her. But I still think they're gonna take those tag titles, those knockouts titles away from Spitfire with Heather Reckless. I think
Mm-hmm.
Heather could be a big one that's gonna probably overshadow Ash by Elegance. Hopefully, well, only time will tell. Let's go with the TNA Knockouts Championship. Marsha Slamovich versus Alicia Edwards. Your thoughts on that Canary the match there, where Marsha Slamovich successfully defends her title? Kind of a hardcore match.
That was a really good match. I gave it a 9 out of 10. Just because I would have liked to see a little interference, like sooner into the match with Jordan Grace and Tasha. I would have loved to see them interfere just a little bit earlier. It would have made that match all that much better. But all in all, I gave it 9 out of 10. I loved how the crowd was behind them. I loved how it was constant back and forth. No one person really dominated the match. It was kind of a push and pull, kind of a tug of war type match, which I loved. Who was it? Alicia? She looked really strong. I really loved that for her, especially with her being so like small structurally. I love that. So 9 out of 10 for me.
All right, Chris.
I ain't gonna lie. The only spot I saw that I remembered was the trash can. This that was a huge spot. I mean, like I don't know, just something about that spot. A lot of women don't like to take those type of bumps. So, I mean, I was messing with my daughter, so that's the only spot I really caught because it looked crazy.
All right. I'm gonna give it an 8. I would have just to be a little different, not to be like 9-9. I'm giving it an 8 due to the fact that it's a title match that we knew wasn't gonna. There was no time of the match that made believe that Alicia was gonna take the Knockouts title at any moment of the match. So that's why I'm gonna give it an 8. But the ladies did a hell of a hardcore match, with the spot like on the garbage can, the DDT on the chair, that was another phenomenal move. And then I like the fact that they closed it with the power driver, protected the power driver move for the finish. Plain and
Mm-hmm.
simple, that alone right there should have gotten at a 9. But I'm gonna give it still the 8 because of that factor. Like you said, they could have brought in Tasha Steele to come out, and then Jordan Grace, where Jordan Grace accidentally probably hits Slamovich by mistake or something with a little bit of dissension. But then we kind of see that happens all across all wrestling companies. Then it's copy and paste. So I appreciate they didn't really do that as much like that. So I'll give it an 8 out of 10 on that one there. We'll go on to this next match: Frankie Kazarian versus Mike Ortiz. Mike Ortiz is on fire. I think Kazarian's doing one of his best heel work in his career. Canary, the match there between these two gentlemen. Your thoughts?
I loved the match. I think it was really great. I think both men, like Frankie's the way that he presents himself as a heel, I like him just so much more. As somebody who naturally gravitates towards the bad guys, I love it. And I'm a harsh critic of when someone is a good guy turned bad guy. I'm a very harsh critic of that, but I think he made that very smooth, seamless transition from one straight into the other.
All right. I like that. Chris?
Yeah, from me being, like me watching the old TNA and seeing Frankie, this is probably one of his best works being a heel in a minute, because it's like him working as a babyface. I mean, it was all right, but him being a heel and cherishing that cup and rubbing it in people's faces, I mean, I don't know. It's something to be said that him being so, I guess seasoned, for him to work, with the young pups and stuff, and showing them how it really, needs to be done. I mean, he's doing a great job of that.
Okay. I like that match too. To me, that was next to my favorite, the favorite match of the night, next to the ladies. I'm going back and forth with Slamovich. I'll give the Slamovich match the edge over it, but I really like this match, like you said, Frankie Kazarian as the heel, working as that heel. Because here's the one thing: he's the perfect person, because even though that cup for him as a heel is a license to steal, to call his shot, to go and take any title he chooses at any time. And if he's out there and we're already invested in disliking him as a heel because we like it. Not that we dislike him, like I can't, not to go away. He got the right garnish of dislike from a Frankie Kazarian. His character has gravitate us to dislike him because he's doing the greatest work of his career. And he has that license to steal, the world title. It works with the persona perfectly. Him getting the victory by using the ropes protected Mike Santana. Mike Santana. I know. I'm so used to calling the LAX both of them. So, but I thought it was a hell of a match. I really loved it. I like that one. I like that concept of psychology, and the way they finished the match was really good there. Let's go with the tag team. We had the system, Moose and Fandango, JDC, taking on Laredo Kid and Leon Slater. Leon Slater continues to ooh and ah us, and Laredo Kid, Canary, your thoughts on that match?
That match was 10 out of 10 for me. Heath Slater looked absolutely amazing. He, for someone who's only 20 years old, that's phenomenal. And I wish I had a better word to describe it, but that's phenomenal. And then seeing Moose and JDC, also known as Fandango, I really love that, because it kind of brought me back when I did watch Fandango growing up. It kind of brought me back a little bit. So it's nice to see him. It's nice to see him wrestle again, but as an adult under something completely different. He kind of just looks more free, and I love that. I think him being with the system, all in all, it's great in the match. 10 out of 10 in my opinion.
Nice, very good compliment there. Chris, your thought?
Yeah, I mean, again, I mean, the seasoned veterans versus the young pups. I mean, the young pups actually, held their own. I mean, dude being 20 years old, I mean, that's something special, because, I mean, at me being 20 doing that, I couldn't see myself doing that. So, it was a great match. And then, Moose and Fandango, I got to get used to, him not being that, and being that silly character of him dancing too much. I just got to get that out of my head. But it was a great match, though. I can't lie.
That match also a 9 out of 10. You could even give it a 10, but I'm gonna give it a 9. Due to Leon Slater continues to show that Mike Bailey could leave the company, but they have another guy that could enter that X division. Young, up and coming, hungry, determined, where you could grow with TNA for the foreseeable future. Good job there. With him, Laredo Kid, another one who does a hell of a match, put on a match. They have a little bit of variety, a little bit of different stuff. Moose, the powerhouse, wrestling with the power, and then you had JDC, who was the worker in the tag team match. He was the one in there working with the teams. Moose, the powerhouse, and the hot tag. With the tag, so the psychology of the tag team wrestling was done perfectly. Those moves on the outside from Leon Slater. This match was very fun, very entertaining. So far, it was really good. I really enjoyed it too. That was another match that you could easily put a match of the night as well. But again, I'm going with Slamovich and Lacey Edwards. Because some people some people don't like women's wrestling, but this person here does. We appreciate their work on there. Let me go to this next one here, which let's go to the main event. The triple threat main event. The Hardys, Ace Austin, taking on, the challengers of Hammer Something and Mustache Mountain. What's your thoughts, Canary?
I loved the match just because the one from Mustache Mountain, he will always and forever remind me of Santa Claus, just more jacked. So that's why periodically you'd hear me scream, Santa, why? Santa, no. Put him down. Just all in all seriousness, I thought the match was great. I loved that the Hardys and Ace Austin were able to pick up the win ultimately. I love that the Rascals got involved in some capacity. Huge fan of the Rascals, so I love that they got involved. But I give the match a 9 out of 10 for me.
All right, Chris.
Yeah, I feel like Ace Austin worked well with the Hardys. I can see him teaming up with them again. Jeff looked good. I'm not gonna lie, Jeff looks better than he did in AEW. Can't lie. And I gotta give credit to Matt. I wanted to say this in the match. For him losing so much weight, you could tell he's moving a lot better himself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, handle something. Let's go get stuck in my head. But yeah, I like that. They got the win, and I like that. The Radicals came out, and yeah.
All right. And me, that was also a really good 8.5 match. It was good. It was fun. It was a way to close out the show in North Carolina in their home city. Their home state, they're in their home state. They're at home. Gave the fans what they wanted. Ace Austin teaming with them. The double, twist of faith, the triple twist of faith there. The moves, the outset. Jeff Hardy continues to move faster and quicker, lighter, better than he looked in AEW. Those close plunges that that means that the both Hardy boys, Hardy men now, they're serious in their conditioning, keeping their body in great, impeccable shape with the right treatment. Like you said, dropping down in weight. That they know that this is their last final run, and they're trying to go out with a bang. So I appreciate that from the Hardys on that there. So yeah, that was a good way to close it out. And honorable mentions, we didn't mention what's her name? Savannah Evans. It was just a quick squash match. That's why we didn't rate it. It is what it was. It was her being repackaged, reintroduced, coming back from injury, and it was just a quick match. It was wham bang. Thank you, man. Nothing really much to break down there with her on that there. But I wanted to go to Canary on this one, the Steve Macklin promo. Your thoughts on it?
It touched me. It was very moving. It was very real. It was very raw. It kind of makes you open your eyes up to stuff like that, just because, especially with me, I deal with chronic pain. It's not something you can see, but it's something that you can feel every single day. So for him to touch on something like that, even though it's in the terms of PTSD with veterans, I love that, because it's bringing to light, just because you can't see something doesn't mean it's not there, and doesn't mean it's not real. Doesn't mean we don't feel everything you don't feel. So it made me feel almost seen and heard in some ways. Like, okay, I'm not the only one that goes through stuff like this. Like, just, stuff like that. It was super moving. It was super touching. And as a wrestling fan and a mental health advocate myself, I very much so really love and gravitate towards stuff like that. So, Steve, 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. Honestly, you're
well said. Chris?
Yeah, You good now, Canary?
Yes, you good? Oh, let me make sure.
Huh?
Yes. Are you
Okay.
good? Because you froze
Yeah.
just at the end. Okay.
Um. Yeah. Somebody that I mean, I posted a video about this, but somebody with mental health and my dad being in the military, so I know PD as D is real. I even suffered for that a little bit because I got in a car accident, so like every time we would turn or something and the car comes, I'm flinching because I'm thinking the car's about to hit. So I mean, if he is suffering from that, like Canary said, like that's a real thing, and it definitely touches the heartstrings to certain people because that can bring people in and be like, okay, what is he going through? It might be more than just wrestling. So, and I do give it a 10 out of 10 too.
All right. That was an excellent segment. 10 out of 10 because we tell everyone wrestling is an escape. Before we got on the stream, I was talking to Chris. I was like, man, I'm hurt. I'm like sore. Remember I was saying I'm sore. My body aches. I'm gonna go get. I took four Advil before going on the air, and it's not comparing to Steve Macklin, but it took me an escape. It escaped me to talk about wrestling, to get entertained with the performers in the ring from just working a long day of work and being in pain and everything, hurting my hands, everything. All of and wrestling is an escape, and it's also folks that are going through situation where it's not similar to Steve Macklin, but something in those kind of mental health issues, and for him to speak about it or do a vignette and say that and let them know through wrestling there is a help, there is ways counseling, get help, seek the help. There is an alternative for you're not the only one, you're not alone, and for him to put that in wrestling, sometimes wrestling kind of I know say, oh, this is just scripted and all that, but it touches the heart of certain people and might help someone tonight that might say, I might need some help. And especially this time of the year of the season where it's very, very touching, where things happen. Unfortunately, things happen, loneliness and things creep in people's minds, especially next week. I'm glad he's speaking about it where, if you are feeling down or low, seek the proper help, find the proper places. There's so many different places online or you could find different counseling and help us and all that as well. If we could do anything to help in the chat to to combat, talk about something, you're more than welcome to talk about that. We're here. We're not professionals, but we're in this together. So I love that from Macklin. That was to me a grand slam out of the park. And then to see his wife thank him on Twitter about speaking about that. That was very, to me, that was the caveat. That was a grand slam with Steve Macklin on there, and well done, produced. Yeah, Canary.
To kind of piggyback off what you said, yes, we are always here for you guys, and yes, we may not get back to you as soon as possible, but something I will be very frank with you guys. I will be very honest with you guys. When it comes to helping you guys out, I don't have any problems with that. I have no problem taking the time listening to you guys. However, when you guys start making your problems my problems, and you guys are constantly, every single day, there's something new, that is when and the boys could be completely different on this half, but with me, that's where I'm going to cut it off, because at that point, it just feels like you're looking for problems. So with me, you guys, I will always be open with you guys, but there are like conditions and rules when it comes to talking to me about stuff that's going on, because I also have to protect my mental health at the same time right now.
Yeah, well said. Well said. With that said, we're gonna end TNA Impact tonight. We gave it a review. This show was great. This show was a real good show. This was the way we average all the scores. You look like around maybe an 8.5 to 9 for the whole show. It was really good. I remember one time we said, "Canary, 2 hours already." I mean, ready main event. It went quick. So this was a good one. We want to thank everyone for watching along with us. Please subscribe. We'll be back on for SmackDown. We want you to join us on the SmackDown edition, please. We appreciate one. Hit the like. See you next time. And if we don't see you, if you only come for TNA, happy Thanksgiving. So we'll see you guys. Peace out.
In a couple weeks.
Yes.